Yo, what is going on, guys? Here, my name is Xposerman, and today I got for you a tips and tricks video for Clash of Clans on how to spend your gems effectively. So I'm going to go through 3 ways that are the best ways to spend your gems, whether it be the worst ways to spend your gems, the moderately, kind of effective ways to spend your gems, and the most effective ways to spend your gems. So let's go ahead and start off with the bad things, the ways you do not want to spend your gems, and we'll lead into the good. So yeah, here we go. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and show you guys the bad ways you're not going to want to spend your gems. So the worst way to spend your gems are on upgrades straight up. If you want to have an upgrade for your wizard tower, it's definitely not the way to go. I'm going to show you an example because pretty much my base is maxed out and I really can't just straight up upgrade things. But doing something like a town hall upgrade, if you're going to want to go and maybe something that's upgrading, we'll go ahead and upgrade something real quick if we can. We'll upgrade this real quick. Here we go. This is an air bomb. Woo! Takes a long time. This thing right here, when it says finish now, that is extremely ineffective to spend your gems on because it's 51 gems. That's half of 100, guys. That's a lot of your gems already out. You get about 6,500 if I'm not too mistaken off of $50 of gems. $100 is 1,400. So you basically wiped out at least an 18th or a 6th or a 12th of your gems, and that's in just one little raid. That's 4 hours. Imagine something that took maybe 2 or 3 days, like say this elixir collector. You know what, I'm gonna do this for you guys right here. This takes 4 days to make, and that takes 630 gems just to finish it up right there. So you're wasting a lot of gems right there just waiting. If you're that impatient in Clash of Clans, then you probably shouldn't be playing Clash of Clans because the game is supposed to be patient. This took me almost over a year to make this whole base right it is right now. 6 days is not really going to make a difference, or 4 days is not really going to make a difference for freaking almost 650 gems. That's a 10th of your freaking gems that you just spent on upgrading something for 4 days. That's not worth it. The second bad and worst way to spend your gems would definitely have to be on going to get the loot. Now you see a lot of YouTubers actually spend their gems on getting loot, but that's just because they got tons and tons of gems. You see some of these guys have 40,000 gems, and you really don't need to spend your gems effectively when you have 40,000 gems. You can fill your gold storages up pretty effectively, your dark elixir as well. So do not upgrade these storages. There's definitely a 100% better way, which I'll mention in the next, probably in the best ways to spend your gems. There's an extremely effective way to do that and get pretty much your loot within 3 hours. Get your whole storages filled up if you can do that. Definitely effective, and it only costs about 30 gems, 40 gems in total. Compared to something like, let's see, how much was it? I think it was 1,800 gems compared to 40 gems. You could do that a lot more times if you use the best strategy over the worst strategy. So those are basically the 2 most least effective ways, which are filling your storages and quick upgrading, slashing that time in half. Things you don't want to do, so do not do that. So yeah, let's go on to the ways that are relatively effective for spending your gems. Alright guys, we're going to go on to the ways you do not want to really spend your gems, but if you have to, it's alright if you're really dying to do it. So the one thing that you can do is going ahead and finish training troops. Maybe you have this much, you have all these troops, it takes about, let's try to get as much time as we can. I think actually if we go ahead and cook up some P.E.K.K.A.s right here, that's the most effective time waster right there. So you cook up maybe a few P.E.K.K.A.s, 3 in each barrack, and we're gonna go ahead and cook up we're gonna cook up that many P.E.K.K.A.s in every barrack. I actually don't have enough elixir for it. And you go ahead and finish training. You just wasted about 120 gems just waiting for an army composition. I actually did that with this warlog today. This isn't actually the right warlog, but I did that to go for a clan wars, and it worked out terribly. One of the things you're going to want to definitely not do is don't do that. If you have to do that, go ahead and do it. It's really not that much of a waste of gems. You're probably going to waste about 100 at most, 150 maybe at most for training troops. But then again, you're also getting some troops done pretty fast. Maybe if you're doing a barbarians and archers, which I don't see why you need to do that, it'd take maybe 15-20 gems in total, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. you know, getting things like your spell factories. That's another thing you can do. Another thing that's really ineffective, but it can lead to, you know, it can be worth it, are getting shields, buying shields. I actually just bought a shield because I was going to be away for about 3 days and I had 4 or 5 million in loot. That's one thing you're definitely not going to want to do. But if you have to do it, maybe you're going away on a trip for about seven days or so, something like that. You can go ahead and get yourself a 1-week shield and you'll be all good to go. You won't have anybody raiding you. It really doesn't make that much of a difference because they're just going to be going for mostly your storages, and you're wasting what, 500k in total for the whole week. That's really not worth it. It's just a semi-effective way, but if you have to do it, maybe you're one of the really good examples was my friend actually got to like Masters 2 as a Town Hall 9, which is pretty good for a Town Hall 9. And he just bought a 1-day shield and kind of savored it. Those are just little things, you know, you can splurge on here and there. That is just one of the things. One of the really actually probably the worst way to spend your gems is to upgrade your Town Hall. What it does, it speeds up your Town Hall. I'll actually see some Town Hall 10s who have really terrible bases. We're going to go ahead and go show you what it looks like, a guy who's gemmed his base, which is basically he has a base that is way under leveled, and you can tell he just spent his gems on upgrading that Town Hall so he can get really cool things. That's probably the worst way possible. I actually didn't think about it like that, but we're gonna go ahead and see if we can find one of these guys. They're kind of hard sometimes to find, especially at this low of a level, but you know, sometimes you can find it. You might be able to find it here and there if we could go ahead. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. Yeah, we're not going to actually spend too much time looking for that. I'll actually just put a link or a picture in the top right hand corner. That should be able to show you guys what the base looks like that's really been gemmed. So we're going to go ahead. I showed you 2 tips of which you don't want to do. 2 tips in which you moderately or kind of you can do, but it's not really worth it. And now we're going to show you the tips in which you do want to do, what you're going to want to do to upgrade, you know, you effectively use your gems. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Alright guys, I'm back and we're going to show you guys the absolute best way to use your gems, and that is to boost your barracks. And boosting your barracks is absolutely the best way. I've used it, and you don't really need that many gems to do it. You need about 40 gems in total, because unless you're doing, you know, dark elixir things, which I don't see why you do that, but you know, hey, whatever floats your boat. You know, if you're using all 4 of your barracks, it's going to cost you about 40 gems, and you get about 2 hours of raiding in consecutive. If you're using the barbarians and archer strategy like me, I can get about a raid every 5 minutes, so I can pretty much be on Clash of Clans the whole time. I actually did that last week while I was watching some football. You know, watched the game and boosted my barracks and got about 25 walls done. So whatever 25 walls is, so that's about 10 million, something like that, somewhere around the lines of that. About 10 million gold in about 2 to 3 hours, probably about 3 to 4 hours. So that's about 5 million gold every 2 hours, which equates to about 2.5 million every hour. So that's pretty crazy. I pretty much filled up my storages twice in the span of 1 game, or about 4 hours. And you know, that is 40, let's say about 80 gems versus, let's go ahead and go to the shop and see how much it takes to fill up your gold storages twice. About 3,800 gems. So versus 3,800, 80 versus 3,800 gems. You know, you spend a little time doing it, you're having fun, you're getting a better raider. I'd say that's definitely worth it. It is so good boosting your barracks. And the best time of the year is Christmas, because what they do is they actually have you boost your gems. You're allowed to boost your barracks for 1 gem, which is 4 gems, and that's absolutely insanely crazy. I don't see how they can do that, but hey, you never know. That might happen one of these days real soon. Upgrading your troops, that's another thing. That's, you know, like upgrading your bases, things like that. That's something you don't want to do, but definitely boost your barracks. That's really good. If you have an abundance of gems, maybe you're like one of those kids who gets like $500 a year for Christmas and you spend it all on gems because you're no life like me. you know, I definitely recommend only upgrading walls, because the walls are the things that really help you out. Things like getting to level 8 walls, you know, keeping the level Town Hall 8 with level 8 walls is really good, because when you go on to the next one, it's going to be really hard for guys to get to your base. So if you do spend your gems on, you know, filling up your gold storages, I definitely recommend doing it on walls in particular. Only spending them on walls, because that's really fast, it's really effective, and only if you have an abundance. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the one way you're gonna want to spend your gems. You're gonna last you a long time. I actually didn't use any gems. I probably never bought gems really effectively. I guess you could say this is kind of bought. I kind of got sponsored to get it. I got them given to me gracefully. But one of the things, you know, I had about 1,500 gems about a week ago, if you know what that is. Put it in the comment section below if you know what that little meme is, about a week ago. It's kind of like a little Vine thing. I'm getting off topic. Off topic. I actually had about 1,500 gems. You know, I saved up from removing stumps and things like that, and I was able to use about 200, and you get about 100 a week probably if you're on a lot, you know, doing achievements and things like that. So you shouldn't be using too many gems, even if you boost your barracks maybe once or twice. You can even boost them probably once a day, and you'll be solid. I'll be solid if I do that. You just have to be on a lot. It's not that great, but it's alright, you know. So we're gonna go ahead and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go over an overview, what you don't want, what you do want, and what you kind of want, just as a quick overview. What you don't want to do is upgrade your town halls to, you know, maybe your town hall 3 and you got about 6,000 gems to just spend. Don't upgrade your town hall to a town hall 8 like me. It's really embarrassing, and people will never take you seriously for the rest of your Clash of Clans career. Don't upgrade defenses or troops or anything like that. Don't waste upgrade times. Don't finish your things now, because that's really ineffective as well. You're just wasting gems. Do not, I mean, by golly, do not fill your storages. It's not really worth it. That's probably one of the most ineffective ways that I see people do things. You know, filling their storages, and they blow all their loot in probably less than 10 minutes. They pretty much spent $100 in 10 minutes. For that easy. You know, you can upgrade your heroes, things like that. That's all right. It's not 100% great. You know, you can boost them. It's something. It's on the edge. Upgrading little things, it's all right. Upgrading walls, you know, if you have to, if you're really dying to do that, go ahead and do that. Knock yourself out. You're wasting a lot of gems, but at least it's for a good cause. Sorry, I had to yawn in your face. At least for a good cause. And upgrading walls, it's always good to see people with good walls on their base. It's something really respectful. Upgrading or finishing troops up from your barracks, that's something that's alright. You don't have to do that, but if you really want to do it, maybe you have to get Clan Wars in. You can use your gems on that. Last but not least, you know, it's alright to, I guess, fill certain storages, you know, halfway, things like that. But if you have to use a shield, go ahead. Just maybe something sentimental based, something personal to you. So that's basically the guide right there. Thanks for watching, guys. If you really did enjoy this and learned how to use your gems wisely, maybe if you have even 100 gems, maybe this will help you not spend your gems as flufferly, I don't know how to, as wastefully as you've been doing. Maybe it kind of helped you out. I hope you did. Thanks for watching, guys. Like this video up, I definitely would appreciate that. I'll see you next time, and later. Alright, guys, before I go, I wanted to tell you guys one thing. And boosting your mines is actually a really good thing. You know, your pumps, your mines, and your drills, that's a really effective way to using your gems. You know, doubling them, making their boost production go up to double. You're going to get a lot more loot out of it, and in the long term, it's going to be really effective. It costs about 100 gems probably a day if you want to do that constantly, and you get a ton of loot out of it. You get about 75,000 per, I think it's like 10 hours or something like that. I'm not too sure about the hours, but you get a lot more gold out of it than you would just filling up your elixir storages or your gold storages. and you know, spending 1800 gems, you're going to spend about 100 gems, and you're going to be able to fill up those storages really fast as well, because your mines are doubled. Now you're going to have to be online quite a bit, you know, maybe once every 5 hours, so people don't raid your mines and get all that loot that was stacked up in those mines. So yeah, definitely a plus is going to be to boost your gold mines as well. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because someone was probably going to tell me that. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time and later.